Hey, welcome back, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right in my living room in the wee hours of the morning, doing what I do for you. I'm in my books, my old books. I'm bringing back a lesson that I had set up for 3 years ago. So hold on, let's about to have some fun. Lesson about to start 1 second. Writing 25 will live by storytelling. Story with a message in a story for life. I'm giving life lessons. You receive them, and I'm going to keep giving them. Let's go. It's going to be a good one for you. Mission, Right Thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment, knowing who you are, knowing yourself a little bit better from the inside out. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. That's my mission statement. Now, the question. Know thyself. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. I can teach you. Tune in. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and believe that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. Simple. A person who knows but knows not that they know is asleep. I can awaken them with spiritual knowledge. I am the spiritual alarm clock. With knowledge of self, I can wake you up. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my out be true, you got to keep the balance in your life, or the bicycle won't run right. You got to be on the proverbial bike, keeping your balance and moving. Today, right thinkers, let's talk about, I call, this is going to be a good one, yoga and the 5 styles of yoga. I'm going to break down each different style of yoga for you. This is all written down, so I'm reading, but it's in my words, okay? Let's go. Start here. All right, I will. The idea of right thinking's yoga concept is to link back you, the individual, with consciousness to its original source. You want to know the original concept, the original essence, that's which transcends all mental and intellectual aspects at comprehension, but which is the essential nature of everything in creation, aka universal consciousness. Yoga is any process, listen, which helps one achieve liberation or freedom from the bondage of human existence. The concept is God created everything and was perfect. He figured out and devised a way to enjoy his creation by becoming human. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. We're God without our powers or consciousness of who we are. The goal is to find yourself. Know thyself. Let's go. Again. So by using right thinking's yoga style, you engage in activity which is the goal of promoting what? The discovery of your true self, be it by studying the wisdom teachings of right thinking philosophy, practicing them in your daily life, practicing exercises to keep the mind and body healthy, for meditation rituals which lead the mind towards what? Divine, or meditating on the divine. You are practicing yoga. Right thinkers, we're yoga practices in training unknowingly. Why? Because the things you're doing is what yoga profess. Knowing thyself, communing with God, getting to know yourself, all that falls under the category. Here we go. Right thinking's goal is to help you discover your essential nature as one with God or the Supreme Being, or we call God consciousness, anointed, Horus, Christos, whatever you want to call it. Again, we keep giving names because we change and evolve, and understand that, but the meaning don't change. Truth is truth is truth. Supreme Being, the discipline, of yoga has 5 major categories. These are yoga of wisdom, of devotional love, yoga of meditation. Number 3, tantric yoga. Then you got yoga of selfless service. That's the one that I practice. That's the one that Right Thinkers that we employ on a regular basis. We do the right thing. We give a selfless service. We help others without fee, for reward, or anything. We do it because it's the right thing to do. All right. The important part to remember is that all aspects of yoga can and should be used in integral fashions to effect an efficient and harmonized spiritual movement in the practitioner, which is you practicing. Okay? Yoga, right thinking philosophy. Okay? Therefore, while there may be an area of special emphasis, you pick any one you want out of 5, and that's cool. There may be an area of emphasis. Other elements are bound to become part of the yoga program as needed. You will use it as needed, but you have to have knowledge of it in order to have it at your disposal to use. For an example, while a yogin may place emphasis, that's a practicing yogi, on yoga of wisdom. That means you want to learn. Okay? They may also practice devotional yoga and meditation yoga along with the study of wisdom yoga. So you can work them interchangeable, but knowing them all is important so you can use them as needed. The phrase doesn't have it, don't need it, then it need it and don't have it. Knowledge is something you rather have. So the practice of any discipline that leads to oneness with supreme consciousness is called yoga. Religion, informal concepts of yoga, communing, following God by doing the right thing, living the commandments of the religious concepts, same thing. Again, I'm showing you the similarities. It's not a comparison, not a competition. It's just understanding the changing of the times, the names, but the purpose and the meaning still the same. That's the point. If you study, rationalize, and reflect, if you study, rationalize, and reflect upon the teachings, you are practicing yoga of wisdom. Obtaining knowledge. I've been doing that for the last 30 years. I know that one. If you meditate upon the teachings of your higher self, you are practicing yoga of meditation. I meditate every day. That's another part of my lifestyle. I incorporate that in my everyday living. Okay? If you practice rituals, I practice rituals. Identification, you with your spiritual nature, you are practicing yoga of rituals. Identification, you're identifying with rituals that yoga practices go by. That's fine. And if you develop your physical nature and your psychic energy centers, you're practicing, here we go, serpent power, aka Kundalini or Uraeus yoga. That's the serpent power. That's the twins I tell you about, Kundalini. We know all of this. We had this all figured out in Egypt. The Indians took it and made it world renowned. If you're practicing living according to the teachings of ethical behavior and selflessness, you are practicing yoga of action. In your daily life, if you're practicing turning your attention toward the divine by developing love for the divine, you're practicing devotional yoga. Also, I practice every day, okay? When you're talking to God, when you're communing with God, that's the yoga of devotion. Devotional yoga. Excuse me, no, I'm done with that one. Next one. Here you go. Yoga has been developed into many disciplines which may be used in an integral fashion as needed to achieve the same goals, which is enlightenment. Enlightenment is the state of consciousness of complete harmony of mind, body, and spirit, aka soul, wherein one discovers one true identity and union with the divine. We knew a long time ago that we commune with God from the inside on a mental and heart understanding way back then. I'm just saying. Enlightenment also implies the discovery of one's innermost self. If you're enlightened, you should know yourself. That's what being enlightened means. You have to have studied. You have to have put some work in. You have to have manifested good things in order to become enlightened. Why? That's how it's done. It's a process. When you discover your most inner self, the immortal and eternal elements of one's being beyond the mortal and transitory human personality, are you following me? I hope this is sinking in. Embodied. Therefore, you should learn about all the paths of yoga and choose those elements which best suit your personality, or practice them all in an integral, balanced way, meaning you learn them and then you use them accordingly. The advancement of yoga is dependent on the desires of that individual to put forth your effort. Again, reap what you sow in the direction toward self-improvement under proper guidance of a preceptor, a sage, or guru. These are the people who do just that, help you do these things. In this way, the negative karma of the past, which has created the present conditions, can be destroyed in order for to create prosperity and spiritual emancipation. You can erase the bad with good. You have opportunity to do that every day of your life. A new beginning, the sunrise every day. You get a new beginning to do what it is you need to do. Understand that. Right thinking's philosophy, right thinking yoga concept is a vast science of human psychology and spiritual transformation, which includes the practice of virtuous, aka Maya, right living, dietary purifications, eating right, physical exercise. I go to the gym every day. And the other one is breathing techniques, studying of the wisdom, teachings, and their practice in your daily life, and meditate on them to perfect them, to use them to your benefit. It's for you to have to use at your discretion. Right thinking process of gradually blending these in the course of your ordinary life, manifesting them as you go through life, and individually you can affect miraculous changes in your own life, and thereby achieving the supreme goal of all existence, the goal of right thinkers. And our whole point is to obtain the nihas, the spiritual awakening, the highest level, union with the higher self. I'm clenching. These teachings, which were practiced in ancient Egyptian temples, were the same ones later intellectually defined, watch this, into a literary form by the Indian sages, the Vedas, and they called it yoga. Watch this. The Indian mysteries of yoga and the Vedanta represents an unfolding and intellectual exposition of the Egyptian mysteries. They studied it, they manufactured it, and they changed it and made it theirs. The Egyptians have a problem with that. Also, the study of Gnostics. Here we go. Gnostics means knowers. Okay? The study of Gnostic Christianity. Whoa. Gnostic Christianity? Before Christ, it was Gnostics. Or during Christ's time, they just didn't write about Jesus. Or, now watch this. Now we got the Gnostic Christianity, which is spelled Gnostic. Gnostics means to know. The G is silent, okay? When you have Gnostic Christianity or just Christianity before, listen to this, before Roman Catholicism will be useful to our studies, since Christianity originated where? In ancient Egypt. They told you Moses was I ain't going there. And was also based on ancient Egyptian mystery system. Therefore, the study of the Egyptian mysteries, earlier Christianity and India Vedas, yogas will provide the most comprehensive teachings on how to practice the disciplines of yoga, leading to attainment of what? Enlightenment. The question is how to accomplish these seemingly impossible tasks. How to transform yourself and realize the deepest mysteries of existence. I am God. I made that statement to my brother 5 years ago. Oh, in you we trust. No, my man, I just have knowledge and understanding that gives me the elevation, the concept to understand who I am. I know myself. We didn't speak for 3 years. How to discover who am I? This is the mission of Right Thinking's style of yoga philosophy and the purpose of Right Thinking's philosophy practice. Right Thinking teaches in this way to the teachings will not only be relevant to the Egyptian mysteries, but also the other religious as well. I don't care what religion you profess. Knowledge of God, communion with God, knowing that self fits in any religious concept that you're going to have. I don't come to hurt. I come to enhance. Trust me. Okay? I ain't going there. You already know how I feel about that. Next one is, so if your previous background was in Christianity, which is fine, or in other various traditions within Hinduism, you won't have a problem. Okay? What? Understanding the teachings of right thinking concepts as they will be presented. I have symbols of Egyptian yoga, right thinkings, the ancient Egyptian language and symbols provide the first historical records of yoga philosophy and religious literature. I'll let that stay there. Egyptian yoga is what has been commonly referred to by Egyptologists as Egyptian religion or mythology. But to think of it just as a set of stories or allegories about a long-lost civilization is to completely miss the greatest, listen to this, the greatest secrets of human existence. Yoga in all its forms was practiced in Egypt earlier than anywhere else in our history. This unique perspective from the ancient African provides a new way to look at life, religion, and the disciplines of psychology, the 42 Confessions of Maya. So most importantly, through Egyptian mythology, like right thinking, when well understood as a system of yoga or a way of life, gives every individual insight into their own divine nature, knowing themselves for themselves with the practice that everybody can partake in. This is its true worth. Therefore, you are not innately controlled by nature. You are potentially a master of nature. These systems of nature's divinities give us easier understanding of spirituality. I understand that I'm learning about nature and learning about yourself at the same time, and they tie in together. Whoa. Power. Okay? Watch this. Because the divinities present principles in nature and in our personalities. The nature aspect is our personalities. That's what we need to control our personality as an individual, our emotions, our concepts, our views. We need to be able to control it. That's called mastery of self. With the use of right thinking's philosophy will help remove egoism. Again, you need to conquer what your egoism. Your ego is set and ignorance set, making it easier for you to grasp and therefore understand and control and realize the higher essence within. So the worship and study of these divinities is actually a study of our own constitution, our own psychological makeup, psychic, or our spiritual architecture and the architecture of the universe. We are one with Him. And this is why Right Thinking Concepts has many gods and goddess concepts emanating from one. It's a scientific approach to help you understand the divine, which is God. So Right Thinking Concepts, this is not to degrade religion at all, but to actually, it is an advanced religion anyway, conceptually. Understand that, please. I'm going to rest with that. I'm glad you tuned in. Wow, I took it up 20 minutes. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the lesson.